Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mrs. Ross Does Math. Today's lesson is actually going to be a two-parter. This is all about lesson 25, which is the distributive method, and for this particular lesson out of our textbook, I've broken it up into two parts. This video that you're about to watch is all about part one, which is what is distributive process or the distributive method, and how can we use it to simplify expressions. Whereas in our second video, it's more about let's use it to solve equations. All right. Now, as you need to, please go ahead and pause this video at any point in time to catch up, rewind it, fast forward, do whatever you need to do that works for you. Let's get this going. So to start out, it says, what is the process for using the distributive property to multiply expressions? This is our essential question. And once again, our key word in here is to simplify expressions. Okay, here we go. Now, in order to figure out how to use distributive property, we should probably know what it is first. Distributive property is a method of multiplying a number or variable by other numbers. Okay, now this is known as the rainbow method, also known as the bunny hop method. Okay. Now, you'll see why it's called the rainbow method in just a minute. Here we go. Now, the easiest way for us to review this is for us to simply do some examples. Now, our key word here that we're going to be wanting to pay attention to is multiplying. Okay, so when we see distributive method, it's going to be a number or a variable on the outside of a group of parentheses, and we are going to have to multiply or distribute that number to everything else that's inside. So if I have the problem 7 parentheses x plus 8, I'm going to distribute or multiply my 7 to the x. So I'm going to write 7 times x. Now I'm going to put the plus sign because I have a plus sign separating my x and my 8. And I'm going to go 7 times 8. And I'm going to write that down as well. So 7 times 8. Now remember, we no longer use x to indicate multiplication, to indicate multiplication, we either use a dot or we use parentheses. So you could use either one. I'm going to stick with a dot right here. So now I have 7 times x. That'd be 7x. So I'm going to write that down below. I'm going to bring down my plus sign. And then now I'm going to go 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is going to be 56. Now this is where we're going to stop. There's no equal sign here, so we don't have to take it any further. This is our final answer because we are simplifying using the distributive property. So our final answer would be 7x plus 56. Now, feel free to pause here, rewind it if you need to watch that again, so it makes a little more sense to you. Our second problem that we have is -3 parentheses y minus 2. So, once again, I'm going to draw my rainbow or my bunny hop, taking my number that's on the outside of my parentheses to the numbers on the inside, or variables on the inside. So here I'm going to take my -3, and I'm going to times it by y. Now, just as how we brought down our plus positive with our first problem, we're going to bring down the minus that's right here. Now I'm going to have to go -3, and I'm going to times that by 2. Okay. Now we get to multiply out. So I have -3 times y, which gives me -3y. I bring down my minus sign, and then I go -3 times 2, which is going to be -6. We run into something here, though. I have a minus and negative. When this happens, they combine together and create a positive. So what I end up with is -3y plus 6. And that would be our final answer. Lastly, we go here. I have a half times 4x in parentheses minus 8. Now, using this, I'm going to do the same thing as we did above. We're going to use the rainbows, or the bunny hop, moving from one thing to the next. I also call it the bunny hop method is because as rabbits go, they'll often pick stuff up and carry it with them going from one place to the next. So we're literally carrying the half to the 4. In other words, we're cutting it in half. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go a half times 4. And in this case, I'm sorry about that, it'd be 1/2 times 4x, because I need to bring both of those with me. I'm going to bring down that minus sign, and then I'm going to go a half times 8. Now, I'm going to go a half times 4, because that's my number, and I get 2, and then the x just simply follows. Now, if I didn't have the 4 with my x, I'd be left with 1/2 x. But in this case, because I have a 4 with my x, the 4 is cut in half. All right? And now I'm going to go a half times 8. And that's 4. I'm going to bring down my minus sign. And that again is my final answer. And this is where we're stopping. Okay? Now your assignment today that we're going to be working on is all with problems very similar to this. So if you have any questions at all, please reach out. Once again, if you need to watch this video, rewind it, do whatever you need to, please reach out to me with any questions you have. This has been Mrs. Ross Does Math, and good luck on your assignment today.